Your emotions are a battlefield, aren't they? One minute you're riding a wave of confidence, the next you're drowning in frustration, doubt, or grief. The chaos of life, endless demands, fractured relationships, the constant hum of stress turns your mind into a storm that never quiets. You're not alone in this struggle. Millions feel the same, trapped in cycles of emotional overload, reacting instead of responding, carried away by feelings they can't control. But what if you could break free? What if in just 3 days you could reset your emotional core, master your mind, and step into a version of yourself that's calm, clear, and unshakable? This isn't a fleeting promise or a shallow fix. It's a rigorous, transformative process to rewire how you handle emotions, grounded in practical tools and unyielding discipline. Follow this script for 3 days, and you'll emerge with a mind that doesn't just survive, it thrives. Are you ready to take charge? Let's begin. Day 1 is about cracking open the code of your emotions. You can't master what you don't understand, so your mission is to become a relentless investigator of your own mind. Grab a notebook or open a note on your phone. Every hour, stop for 30 seconds and write down exactly what you're feeling. Don't settle for vague labels like good or bad. Be precise. Are you irritated because a colleague dismissed your idea? Anxious about a looming deadline? Elated from a kind word? Name the emotion and tie it to its trigger. Don't judge what you find. Don't try to change it. Just observe. This act of naming is like shining a spotlight on a shadowy figure. It reveals what's been pulling your strings. By the end of the day, you'll have a detailed map of your emotional terrain, showing what sparks joy, what ignites anger, and what lingers like a stubborn fog. Why does this matter? Your emotions aren't random bursts of chaos. They're ancient signals, hardwired into your brain to keep you alive. Anger readies you to confront a threat. Fear pushes you to escape danger. Sadness signals loss, urging you to seek connection. But in today's world, these signals get distorted. A critical email feels like a predator's growl. A missed opportunity hits like a mortal wound. Your brain, built for survival, can't always tell the difference, so it unleashes the same flood of adrenaline or cortisol for a traffic jam as it would for a life or death chase. By tracking your emotions, you're training your mind to pause and decode these signals before they take over. This isn't about burying your feelings. It's about understanding their language so you can choose your response. As you move through day 1, patterns will emerge. You might notice you're steady in the morning but tense by afternoon. Certain people, a demanding boss, a distant friend, might consistently stir frustration. Specific tasks, like tackling a complex project, might spike anxiety. Don't rush to fix these yet. Just keep logging. If you miss an hour, don't spiral into self-criticism. Pick up where you left off. The goal is persistence, not flawlessness. Before bed, sit with your notes. Scan for the emotions that hit hardest and the triggers that keep resurfacing. Circle 1 or 2 that feel overwhelming. Maybe it's anger that flares during arguments or sadness that creeps in at night. These are your focal points for tomorrow. You're not just collecting data, you're laying the groundwork for control. Let's deepen this practice. As you track, add a layer. Note your body's response. Emotions don't just live in your mind, they ripple through your flesh. Does your chest tighten when you're anxious? Do your shoulders hunch when you're sad? Does your jaw clench when you're angry? Write these down alongside the emotion and trigger. This body-mind connection is critical because your physical state can amplify or dampen what you feel. By noticing these cues, you're gathering more clues about how your emotions operate. For example, if you feel a knot in your stomach every time you check your email, that's a sign your body's bracing for stress. This awareness is power. It's the first step to breaking the cycle. Day 1 isn't easy. It demands focus and honesty. You might uncover emotions you've been avoiding, grief you've buried, resentment you've ignored. That's okay. Facing them doesn't make you weak. It makes you brave. If you feel resistance, remind yourself every entry in that notebook is a step toward freedom. By the time you close your eyes tonight, you'll have a clearer picture of what's been driving you. You're not just surviving your emotions anymore. You're starting to understand them. That's the foundation of mastery. Day 2 is where you take the fight to your emotions. You've mapped their patterns. Now it's time to disrupt their hold. Your mind is wired with habits, automatic loops that link triggers to reactions. A rude comment sparks anger. A looming deadline fuels panic. These loops feel unbreakable, but they're not. They're circuits, and you can rewire them. The tool for this is called the pause and pivot. When an emotion surges, especially one of those overwhelming ones you circled last night, stop everything. Take 3 deep, deliberate breaths. Count to 5 on the inhale. Hold for 5, exhale for 5. This isn't just a calming trick, it's a neurological reset, giving your brain a moment to shift from instinct to intention. After the breaths, ask one question: what's the story I'm telling myself? Emotions are tethered to narratives. If you're furious, maybe you're thinking, they betrayed me, and I can't let that stand. If you're anxious, maybe it's, I'm not good enough, and everyone will see it. Write the story in your notebook, then challenge it. Is it true? Is it the only way to see things? If a friend cancels plans, maybe they're overwhelmed, not rejecting you. If you're nervous about a meeting, maybe it's an opportunity to shine, not a setup for failure. This isn't about dismissing your emotions. It's about loosening their grip by rewriting the script that fuels them. Practice the pause and pivot at least 6 times today. It won't feel natural at first. You might catch yourself too late, already snapping at someone or spiraling into worry. That's fine. The moment you notice, pause, breathe, and pivot. Each attempt strengthens a new neural pathway, one that puts you in command. To make this stick, add a physical cue. Clench and release your fist as you breathe. This small action anchors the pause in your body, making it easier to access under pressure. By mid-afternoon, you'll start to feel a shift. The emotions are still there, but they're not dictating your actions. You're breaking the cycle, and that's a victory. Let's go deeper. As you pivot, experiment with a second question: what do I need right now? This shifts you from reacting to problem solving. If you're angry, maybe you need to step away and cool off. If you're sad, maybe you need to call a friend or journal. Write down the need, and if possible, act on it. This isn't indulgence, it's strategy. Meeting your needs diffuses the emotion's intensity, giving you space to respond rationally. For example, if you're overwhelmed by a work task, you might realize you need a 5-minute break to clear your head. Take it. These small actions build trust in your ability to handle whatever comes. Day 2 will test you. The old loops are stubborn, and life won't stop throwing triggers your way. A coworker might criticize you. A family member might push your buttons. When these moments hit, lean on the pause and pivot. If you slip and react impulsively, don't dwell. Just reset and try again. Before bed, review your notebook. Look at the stories you identified and the pivots you attempted. Note which emotions felt easier to manage and which fought back. Pick one that's still gripping you tightly. Maybe it's anxiety that flares in social settings, or anger that erupts in conflict. This is your target for day 3. You're not just disrupting habits now, you're forging a new way of being. Day 3 is about locking in your transformation. You've mapped your emotions and broken their patterns. Now it's time to anchor a mindset that carries you forward, not just for today, but for life. The tool for this is emotional anchoring. Every morning before the world pulls you in, spend 7 minutes setting an intention. Find a quiet spot, close your eyes, and mentally rehearse your day. See yourself facing that stubborn emotion you picked last night. Maybe it's frustration with a chaotic schedule, or fear of rejection. Watch yourself pause, breathe, and pivot with calm control. Feel the strength of choosing your response. This isn't daydreaming, it's mental conditioning, training your brain to default to mastery. To make this tangible, choose a physical anchor, a small object like a ring, a keychain, or a stone. Carry it with you. Every time that stubborn emotion surges, touch the anchor. Let it ground you in your intention. Combine it with the pause and pivot. If you're in a heated moment and feel anger rising, discreetly touch the anchor. Breathe and ask, what's the story I'm telling myself? Then pivot. The anchor isn't a talisman, it's a reminder of your commitment. Use it as often as needed, whether it's once or 20 times. By noon you'll notice the emotion doesn't hit as hard. It's still there, but it's less commanding. Your mind is adapting, and you're choosing your path.
To amplify this, add a journaling practice 3 times today, morning, midday, and evening. Write for 5 minutes. Describe how you're using the pause and pivot and the anchor. Note what's working and what's challenging. This isn't just reflection, it's reinforcement. Writing cements the new patterns in your brain, making them more automatic.
If you're struggling with the stubborn emotion, journal about why it's so sticky. Maybe it's tied to an old wound or a deep fear. Naming this can loosen its hold. If you're seeing progress, write that down too. Celebrate every win, no matter how small. A moment when you stayed calm, a time you pivoted smoothly. Day 3 will feel different. The tools are starting to blend into your instincts. You're not just reacting, you're responding with intention. But don't coast. Life will test your resolve. A stressful event might push you toward the old loops. When it does, lean on your anchor and your notebook. If you slip, don't judge yourself. Just pause and pivot. By evening, you'll feel a quiet strength. The emotional storms are still there, but they're not controlling you. You're steering the ship. As day 3 closes, take 15 minutes to reflect. Read through your notebook from all 3 days. Trace the journey, emotions you tracked, stories you challenged, pivots you made, anchors you used. You'll see growth, not perfection. The chaos in your mind is quieter. You're not at its mercy. These tools, awareness, interruption, integration, are now part of you. They're not just for 3 days, they're for life. Keep your notebook active, keep your anchor close. When the next challenge comes, you'll be ready. But let's be clear, 3 days is a beginning, not a cure. Life will keep testing you. New stressors, old wounds, unexpected losses. The difference is you're not the same person who started this. You've trained your mind to see emotions as tools, not tyrants. You've learned to pause, question, and choose. That's not just control, that's power. To sustain this, commit to a daily practice. Track your emotions weekly to stay sharp. Use the pause and pivot whenever you feel a surge. Revisit your anchor when you need grounding. These habits will deepen your mastery over time. Now let's talk about the bigger picture. Mastering your emotions isn't just about feeling better. It's about living better. When you control your mind, you show up differently. You listen instead of snapping. You act instead of panicking. You connect instead of withdrawing. This ripples outward, transforming your relationships, your work, your purpose. The people around you will notice. They'll sense your calm, your clarity, your strength. You're not just resetting your emotions, you're resetting your life. So, what's holding you back? You have the blueprint. You have the tools. 3 days from now, you could be standing taller, thinking sharper, feeling freer than you have in years. The only question is, will you do it? Grab that notebook. Pick up that anchor. Start now. Your mind is ready to be mastered. Go claim it. To keep this momentum, let's build a maintenance plan. After these 3 days, set aside 10 minutes each morning to check in with your emotions. Write down what you're feeling and why. This keeps you aware and prevents old loops from creeping back. Once a week, do a deeper dive. Review your notebook. Look for patterns and adjust. If a new emotion starts dominating, repeat the 3-day process, focusing on it. This isn't a one-time fix. It's a lifelong skill. You might wonder, what if I fail? What if I slip back into anger or anxiety? Failure isn't falling, it's staying down. Every time you pause and pivot, you're winning. Even if you catch yourself late, you're still rewiring your brain. Progress is messy, but it's real. Trust the process. Trust yourself. You've already taken the hardest step. Starting. Let's address resistance. Some emotions are tougher than others. Grief, for instance, can feel like a tidal wave. If you're dealing with something heavy, go slower. Track it gently on day 1. On day 2, pivot by acknowledging the pain without letting it define you. To season on day 3, anchor to small moments of hope, a kind gesture, a quiet sunrise. You're not erasing the emotion, you're learning to carry it differently. If you feel stuck, talk to someone, a friend, a therapist. You don't have to do this alone. Another challenge is time. Life is busy. Just you on and payment. You might think, I can't stop every hour to write, but you can. 30 seconds is nothing. You spend more time scrolling or stressing. To season of, if hourly tracking feels overwhelming, do it every 2 hours. The key is consistency. Make it non-negotiable, like brushing your teeth. Tis investment pays off in clarity and control. You might also face skepticism. Maybe you're thinking, can 3 days really change me? They can. Neuroscience shows that even short, focused interventions can shift how your brain processes emotions. Each pause and pivot strengthens your prefrontal cortex, the part that governs self-control. Each journal entry reinforces new pathways. This isn't magic, it's science, backed by action. Doubt is normal, but don't let it stop you. Prove it to yourself. Let's talk about the long game. Emotional mastery isn't about never feeling pain or anger. It's about feeling everything and still choosing your path. It's about resilience, bouncing back faster, standing stronger. Over weeks and months, this practice will make you anti-fragile. Stressors that once broke you will make you sharper. Challenges that overwhelmed you will become fuel. You'll start to see emotions not as enemies but as allies, guiding you toward what matters. To make this concrete, let's revisit the tools with more depth. On day 1, when tracking, add a scale. Rate each emotion's intensity from 1 to 10. This quantifies your experience, making patterns clearer. For example, if your anxiety spikes to 8 during meetings, you'll know exactly where to focus. On day 2, when pivoting, try a reframe technique alongside challenging the story. If you're angry because someone ignored you, reframe it as, their silence is about their stress, not my worth. Write the reframe in your notebook. On day 3, when anchoring, add a verbal cue. As you touch your anchor, say quietly, I choose my response. This layers the habit into your senses: touch, breath, voice. You might be wondering about specific emotions. Let's break down a few common ones. If anger is your challenge, it often masks vulnerability. On day 1, track what's beneath it, maybe fear of disrespect or hurt from rejection. On day 2, pivot by addressing the root. I'm telling myself I'm not valued, but I can value myself. On day 3, anchor to self-respect, touching your anchor to remind you of your worth. For anxiety, track its physical signs: racing heart, shallow breath. Pivot by grounding yourself in the present. I'm safe right now. Anchor to trust in your ability to handle what comes. For sadness, track its triggers, maybe loneliness or loss. Pivot by seeking connection, even small acts, like texting a friend. Anchor to moments of gratitude, however tiny. What about joy? Don't just track negative emotions. Joy, excitement, and pride are signals too. On day 1, note what sparks them. A good conversation, a creative breakthrough. On day 2, pivot to amplify them. I'm telling myself this moment is fleeting, but I can savor it. On day 3, anchor to these highs, using your anchor to remind you to seek them out. Balancing all emotions creates a richer, more grounded life. Let's address environment. Your surroundings shape your emotions. On day 1, note where you feel certain ways. Does your cluttered desk spike stress? Does a quiet park lift your mood? On day 2, pivot by adjusting your space. Clear the desk. Take a walk. On day 3, anchor to environments that support your calm. If you can't change your space, change your approach. Use noise-canceling headphones. Set boundaries. Small tweaks make a big difference. Relationships are another factor. People can be triggers or anchors. On day 1, track who stirs what. Does a friend's negativity drain you? Does a partner's support ground you? On day 2, pivot by setting boundaries or leaning into positive connections. If someone's toxic, limit contact. If someone's uplifting, reach out. On day 3, anchor to healthy relationships. Your anchor can remind you to choose who you surround yourself with wisely. Let's talk about self-talk. Your inner voice shapes your emotions more than you realize. On day 1, track what you're saying to yourself when emotions hit. Are you harsh? I'm such an idiot. Or dismissive? I shouldn't feel this. On day 2, pivot by rewriting the script. I'm learning, and that's enough. On day 3, anchor to kind self-talk. When you touch your anchor, silently affirm, I'm doing my best, and I'm growing. This builds a foundation of self-compassion, which is the bedrock of emotional strength. You might face external skepticism too. Others might say, you're overthinking this, or just get over it. Ignore them. They don't understand the power of intentional change. You're not overthinking. You're outsmarting your emotions. You're building a skill most people never touch. Stay focused. Their doubt is noise. Your progress is signal. Let's add a layer of accountability. Share your plan with someone you trust.
Tell them you're doing a 3-day emotional reset and ask them to check in. This isn't about pressure, it's about support. Knowing someone's watching can keep you committed. If you prefer privacy, set reminders on your phone. Each morning, noon and night, let it prompt you to track, pivot, or anchor. Technology can be your ally. What about setbacks? Life isn't linear. You might nail day 1, but stumble on day 2. Maybe a crisis hits, and you forget to pause. That's not failure, it's data. Write down what threw you off. Was it a specific trigger? A lack of sleep? Use day 3 to adjust. Maybe you need shorter pauses or a different anchor. The process is flexible. Adapt it to your reality. Let's talk about the science again, because it's your ally. Each time you pause and pivot, you're engaging your brain's plasticity, its ability to rewire. You're strengthening the connection between your amygdala, which processes emotions, and your prefrontal cortex, which governs decisions. This is why the first pivot feels clunky, but the 10th feels smoother. You're literally reshaping your brain. Journaling amplifies this by engaging memory and reflection. The anchor adds a sensory cue, making the new habit stickier. This isn't theory, it's biology, and you're the engineer. You might ask, what if I don't feel different after 3 days? That's possible. Change isn't always dramatic. But even if you don't feel transformed, you're building muscle. Every pause, every pivot, every journal entry is a rep. Keep going, and the results will compound. A month from now, you'll look back and see how far you've come. Patience is your edge. Let's end with a call to action. You're not here to stay stuck. You're here to grow, to lead, to thrive. These 3 days are your proving ground. You've got the tools, awareness to map your emotions, interruption to break their hold, integration to anchor your strength. You've got the science, your brain is ready to adapt. You've got the stakes, your life, your relationships, your purpose. All that's left is you. Will you show up? Will you track that first emotion, take that first breath, touch that first anchor? The choice is yours, but the path is clear. Start now. Your mind is waiting. Master it.
So what's stopping you? You've got the plan. You've got the tools. 3 days from now, you could be standing taller, thinking clearer and feeling stronger than you have in years. The only question is, will you commit? Take the first step. Grab that notebook. Start tracking. Your mind is waiting to be mastered. Go claim it. Now let's push deeper. The 3-day process you've started is a launch pad, but true mastery requires more than a sprint. It demands a lifelong commitment to understanding and directing your emotional energy. The tools you're building are not just for these 3 days, they're for every challenge, every triumph, every moment that tests your resilience. Let's extend this journey, layering in advanced techniques, practical strategies, and a relentless focus on making emotional mastery your default state. This isn't about perfection, it's about progress, about becoming the kind of person who faces life's storms with clarity and strength. Ready to keep going? Let's build on what you've started. As you wrap up day 1, you're not just collecting notes, you're uncovering the hidden currents of your mind. Those emotions you've tracked, those triggers you've named, they're revealing the fault lines where your reactions take over. But awareness is only the beginning. To make this stick, you need to amplify your focus. Starting tonight, add a 5-minute reflection before bed. Sit with your notebook and ask, what did I learn about myself today? Maybe you realized how much a certain colleague's tone sets you off. Maybe you noticed joy fades faster than frustration. Write down one key insight. This isn't just journaling, it's crystallizing your self-knowledge, turning raw data into wisdom. On day 2, as you practice the pause and pivot, let's add a layer of precision. Emotions don't just hit, they build. There's a moment, a split second, when you can feel them rising before they take over. Your job is to catch that moment. When you sense an emotion stirring, say irritation at a delayed response or anxiety before a call. Name it silently in your head. This is irritation. This is anxiety. Then before you pause and breathe, rate its intensity on a scale of 1 to 10. Is it a 3, nagging but manageable, or an 8, threatening to derail you? Write this in your notebook alongside the story you're telling yourself. This rating sharpens your awareness, helping you gauge when to pivot lightly and when to dig in hard. Why does this matter? Emotions are like waves. Some are ripples, others are tsunamis. By rating them, you're learning to calibrate your response. A 3 might need a quick breath and a reframe. An 8 might require stepping away, journaling, or even a brisk walk to reset your body. This precision keeps you from overreacting to small triggers or underestimating big ones. It's like tuning an instrument. Your mind becomes sharper, more responsive to your command. As you move through day 2, experiment with a second pivot technique, the opposite action. Sometimes the best way to break an emotional loop is to do the opposite of what it demands. If anger makes you want to lash out, choose silence or a kind word instead. If anxiety pushes you to avoid a task, lean into it with small, deliberate steps. For example, if you're dreading a confrontation, write a calm, clear script for it, and practice saying it aloud. This isn't about faking it. It's about rewiring your instincts. Each opposite action is a rebellion against the old loop, a declaration that you're in control. Write down every opposite action you take, noting how it feels. You'll be surprised at the power this unleashes.